Hi y'all. Today I'm going to talk about writing, about how great marketing requires excellent writing. If you can't write, you're going to find yourself in trouble in the business world because there's so much of business and marketing that depends on being able to write well and to write in a professional way that represents your brand and that represents you well. So I'm going to share some writing tips. I've always loved to write and I've always been pretty good at it. So I'm going to share today some tips on how you can write better for the web. One of the first, there are two online tools. Even if you don't consider yourself a writer, if you think I'm not a word person, I'm a number person, I understand because I'm most definitely not a number and spreadsheet person. So words come much more naturally to me. But there are two online tools that I really like for writing and just to help you polish up your writing before it makes its debut in the world. And one is the Hemingway Editor. Now, the Hemingway Editor is a free online tool that analyzes your writing. You just paste in your copy and it analyzes your writing and it will tell you whether you have a clunky sentence that you should rewrite. It tells you if some of your writing is overly complicated. It just flags and it's all color coded, so it's very easy to see and read online and correct. The other tool I really like is called Grammarly, and that's at grammarly.com. It is a freemium tool, so there are free features that you can use, but it is a premium product. So to get all of to get everything out of it, you would have to pay, which I just use the free tool. But it flags more things that are more like poor grammar. It will catch it if you use the wrong its or if you put an apostrophe where one doesn't belong. So it will catch those kind of things much better than your word processor spell check. Don't depend on spell check in your word processor. Use these two tools and run anything that you write that you're going to share with a client or share online that's going to represent your business. Run it through these two tools before you put it out into the world. And I think you'll feel a little better about what you're putting out if you don't fancy yourself a writer. Now, I'm going to share 6 tips for better writing. My first tip: anything you write for marketing purposes, anything online, you need to write it in a top-down style. Now, what do I mean by that? It's often called the inverted pyramid, and it's the way news articles have traditionally been written in a newspaper. In case the newspaper ran short on space and part of the article had to be cut, so that you could cut out the least important. Lead with the most important piece or the most important information, and your information should go in decreasing levels of importance as you get farther down in the article. So write top down. My second tip is always write in active voice. Now, one thing you'll notice about if you listen to lawyers talk a lot, or there's one commercial about a pharmaceutical product that you can really hear it, but passive voice, writing in passive voice is often a way to distance yourself from what you're trying to say. In other words, I know I have to say this, but I really don't want to. Have you ever heard a company who has blundered come out and say mistakes were made? They don't say I made a mistake, we made a mistake. They say mistakes were made because they don't want to really take ownership of it, and they don't want to use the active voice. The drug company commercial is interesting because I hear it there as they're listing the side effects of the drug, which obviously they have to do that legally when they advertise it. As they're listing the side effects, they say side effect A, B, and C have happened. They don't say our medication has caused A, B, and C. They say they have happened. So again, it's just a way to distance yourself, and you don't want to distance yourself from your audience, from who you're writing to. So don't use passive voice. And this goes along with active voice, but use strong verbs. Use verbs that are more specific and descriptive about what you're doing. If you went to the store, did you walk to the store? Did you run to the store? Did you skip to the store? So how did you get there? Did you drive? But use an action verb that tells more about how you got to the store. Stronger verbs make stronger sentences. If you find yourself using the participle a lot, if you find yourself saying, he is going, we are leaving, and in other words, the is or are verb and the ing ending, that is a little weaker than using a strong verb. So watch out for the participle. Look out for too many of those and correct them. The sentence can usually be rewritten to make it stronger and less dependent on the participle and the is verb. Resist the easy words. You know what? You don't need to say very or really or any of those words that are weak, that don't really mean anything. Mark Twain said, as you're writing, every time you're tempted to say very, put damn in there, and your editor will take it out, and then you'll have about what you need. So I like Mark Twain's advice. You may not want to use damn, but think about other words that you could substitute for very. Go to thesaurus.com and you'll be amazed at some of the words that really will make your writing sound much more interesting and colorful. Follow the NICE format. I found this week, and it comes from dictionary.com, grammar.dictionary.com. And it's an acronym that explains what you need for any news article you write. So since we're talking about writing like a news article, you want to lead with the actual news. And the second thing you're going to include is going to be its impact. What's the big deal about the news? What impact does it have? If you know what the news is and you know what its impact is, even if you don't have the context, you can still get some of the meaning and some of the importance of the news. And the last, and it's last for a reason, the last is emotion. Good writing stirs emotion. If you want to stir people to action, you've got to have emotion. None of us ever do anything based on writing that doesn't stir emotion. Your favorite charity stirs your emotion to make you donate. Have you seen that commercial about the animal cruelty and the dogs, those pitiful looking dogs? And I'm a dog person, so it breaks my heart, and I really have to look away because really I don't want to give all my money away to this charity, even though they do very good work. So pull at the heartstrings and you'll get to the purse strings. Well, that's all my writing tips for today, and I hope that you're going to practice a lot. I hope you'll use the tools that I've outlined, and I hope that you'll just have a day of happy writing. See y'all next time.